Hey, what's up? John Sonmez from simpleprogrammer.com. So today I thought I'd do a video. I was actually gonna do it last night, but it was a little bit of a late night last night, so I thought I would do it this morning. And I wanted to talk about something that I think is pretty important. I've alluded to this a few different times, but it really impacted me and hit me last night. So basically my day yesterday did not go according to plan. As you probably know if you've been following this channel, I typically work out from 3 to 5 every day. And when I say typically, I mean like pretty much every day I work out from 3 to 5. But yesterday I had some guys working at the house doing some work for me. I had an interruption of my schedule. I had to go to a doctor's appointment and run some errands, and I basically could not end up doing my workout at that time. So I ended up coming home pretty late. I also had very little sleep the previous night before, and I came home pretty late, and I was pretty tired. And finally, about I hadn't eaten dinner either, right? I only eat one meal a day, so I hadn't done any of my eating yet. And it was about 8 o'clock, 8:30 at night, and I'm like, oh crap. So I look outside, it's dark, it's raining, so I can't even run. I'm supposed to go run 10 miles, right? And I'm tired, I'm hungry, and I thought about, what should I do, right? I was like, oh man, I don't know. I should probably skip tonight. I should probably, maybe I should just not run, or I'll run tomorrow or something. But then I thought about it a little bit, and I realized no, that's the coward way out. That's not, something went wrong yesterday that I could have prevented, right? I decided to let go of the victim mentality, not let myself off the hook, right? And I said, something went wrong yesterday. I could have planned this out better. I could have thought about this better. There was no reason why I couldn't have figured out a way to get my workout in earlier during the day. I could have scheduled it. I could have done some things. I could have at least known, this should not be blindsiding me now, right? I could have scheduled it even for later in the evening. Said, okay, 8 o'clock at night, I'm gonna go do my workout. I knew what the weather was. I said, no, here's what you're doing, John. You're going to the gym, and I don't care how freaking tired you are. You're getting on that treadmill, and you're not even cutting it short. You're running your 10 miles, and you'll run it on a treadmill, which is just pain for me, right? So that's what I did. I did that last night. Actually, last night I ran a 5-minute mile, believe it or not. I came from a place of didn't feel like running, didn't feel like doing this, pretty much just didn't want to do it at all, wanted to skip a day, and which almost never happens, right? And I forced myself to do it. I forced myself to pay the consequences of my actions. I didn't let myself off the hook. And then I ended up being inspired and hitting it actually harder and having energy that I don't know where it came from. And I was able to hit a 5-minute mile, running at 14 miles an hour on the treadmill, which was amazing, right? So I've got one of my goals for the year was to hit under a 6-minute mile, and now I've hit under a 5-minute mile, essentially. But the whole point of this is essentially this, right? Is you have to pay the consequences, right, for your actions, and do not let yourself off the hook. Because the thing is, this was good. This was a growing experience for me, because I could have very easily said, okay, well, stuff came up, John, and there's a really good reason for not running. You're tired, you need to get your sleep, right? But instead I said, no, I need to suffer the consequences of my actions. I messed up the day. I did not plan the day properly. Some of the stuff was out of my control. So a lot of it was in my control. Regardless, I need to take responsibility, and I need to say, look, sometimes when this shit happens, the result is you're gonna have to go and run on a treadmill painfully when you're starving and you don't feel like it, and you just wanna go get some sleep. You're just gonna have to do that, right? And I forced myself to pay those consequences. So I think it's really important that you do that you do not let yourself off the hook, because it's really easy to do. It's really easy to let yourself off the hook and to make these excuses. And this might not seem like much, and it might not seem like it's important, but there's 2 reasons why this is important. I'll give you both of them here. So one of them is because this is where the slippery slope starts, right? This is where rationalization and justification start. I did this video on rationalization, you can check out here, but it starts here, right? Because when you when you do something like this, right, and you let yourself off the hook, you don't suffer the consequences of your actions. It's easier to rationalize when it's really not when it is your fault, right? So in this case, you could very, very easily say, and I'm sure some of you will in the comments, you'll say, "Hey, John, that's being a little harsh on yourself. It wasn't really your fault. It's not a big deal." No, I get that. And I could rationalize that and I could say that and I'd be perfectly justified and valid in saying, I wasn't like I was goofing off. I got a lot of work done. I was doing what I was supposed to do. But it doesn't matter, because once I do that, once I don't pay the consequences for my actions, then it becomes a lot easier for me in the future when it really is my fault, when I really did screw up, for me to say, you've had a hard day, or, whatever it is, and make an excuse and rationalize in my head. So I want to cut that, I want to nip that in the bud. I want to say, look, anytime that you do something and it's going to cause you pain, you need to feel that pain, right? I want myself to feel the pain, to go through that, and to have to do that. So that's number one, is the rationalization. The second part of this is just that pain, that depth, that growth, right? This is the moment, right, when I finally put on and it was freaking cold, right? I put on my workout gear, and I'm like, oh, I can't believe I'm doing this. Oh, and I'm getting ready to walk to the gym to go run on a treadmill, which I hate, especially an hour and a half, 2 hours of treadmill. Oh gosh, I can't even take it. But when I was doing that, I was thinking, look, here's the thing. This is why you're doing this, John, is because this is the moment, right? I've talked about this multiple times. I think I did this video on hard times, but this is the moment where you gain. This is where you grow. This is where you get that depth, because, going and running 10 miles when it's easy for you, right? When it's scheduled, when everything's fine, it may be difficult, but it's not really. There's no growth there. But when you're in this condition, when it's 8:30 at night, you haven't eaten anything all day, you hardly slept the night before, you've gone through this day of doing all kinds of stuff, and you're just tired and hungry, and you do not want to go to the gym, and you've got to do it on a treadmill, right? And you got to go out and face the cold to go walk to the gym to do it. When you're in that state, and then you go and you do it, that's where you grow. That's what I told myself. I said, that's where you get the real growth. That's where you're actually building the depth of character that's going to make you stronger, right? So I turned around and I thought, this is a moment in my life. It's painful, but I'll get through it. I'll be done. I'll feel so much better. And by not letting myself off the hook, I'm giving myself that opportunity to grow, which you don't get as many of those, right? Every day isn't like that. So, I could make the choice and I could skip it, right? And maybe that would be fine, but here's an opportunity. Here's an opportunity where the circumstances are bad, they're against me, and it is a hard time. So what am I going to do here? Am I going to grow, or am I going to stagnate? Am I going to stay the same? And I chose growth, and I felt better, a lot better after doing that. And I believe that the reason why I was able to run that 5-minute mile and do that was because I made that choice, because I chose that growth. And so it immediately gave me results. It immediately gave me that growth and pushed me further. So moral of the story is simply this: whether it's your fault or not, okay, I'll just say that, take responsibility when shit goes wrong. And not only take responsibility, pay whatever the consequences are. Do not let yourself off the hook. It's real easy to let yourself off the hook. It's real easy to let things slide, but instead say, no, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to suck it up, and this is a chance to grow. This is an opportunity. It's one of those hard times. If you like this video, if you want more hard advice, click that subscribe button below, and you'll join me on this journey of self-improvement, self-development, as we try to become stronger versions of ourselves, as we try to become better by doing the things that we don't necessarily always want to do. Click that subscribe button, join the Simple Programmer community. If you really want to get every single video as soon as it comes out, click that little bell. I will talk to you next time. Take care.